This latest move by Buhari will finally scatter APC and end Tinubu's political dream and ambition.
President Muhammadu Buhari, I thank you. I thank you. And I did that deliberately. You see, this electoral law you've signed in, sir, is now making politicians, like they say in local parlance, run kaba kaba.
Hi everyone, welcome on board to Helper.tv.
Baba Buhari, thank you. Kudos to you. Is it Buhari that actually brought about this, or certain individuals decided to come up with this and Buhari assented? He agreed to it. That was Rufai, a journalist that works for or with Arise Television, a television station in Nigeria. It is not something that is hidden. He has been against, and not just him alone. I think with other colleagues of his, they have always been against one candidate, majorly one candidate, and that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has spoken extensively and during their broadcast and political analysis and all they do. We've seen that Rufai is in support of Peter Obi. Of course, everyone is weary of this regime of Buhari and the people who surround him. But there is something we need to bear in mind. We run a presidential system. What does that mean? It means that the president can do and undo. The president can decide to override the Senate. What they often do is to make sure that the Senate president and certain individuals are from their own party. And you know how it is. The federal government, the president of Nigeria can use executive power, make use of that, or the president can decide to go lawless. This is a known fact. So right now, Tinubu wants to be president of Nigeria. He said in Milokon, and then this struck a chord in a negative way in a lot of people. They believe that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is claiming that seat as if it belongs to him, as if it is his own turn and he must be given. He alone understands why he said so, because he understands Nigeria and how things work. And he said, Imilokon, it is my turn. That seat is for me because I have done this, I have done that, I have done this, I have done the other one. I have helped this person. We know how these things are, how these things work. Let nobody come in to begin to tell me rubbish. It is now my own turn. I have served. Now, Obasanjo, on the other hand, also, he has lifted the hands of Peter Obi, clearly stating that he is in support of Peter Obi. Why? When you look at him, he has a right to choose whoever he wants to choose. But when you talk about democracy, talk about rule of law, talk about progress in Nigeria, he is nowhere to be found. He was a military head of state, and we know what they do. He came in as a civilian president, and we know what happened all through. Nothing really changed in Nigeria. Nigeria did not become better. You might quickly rush, to say, oh, price of this, price of that. We are talking about when Obasanjo was there and we had abundance. Talk about the price of crude oil per barrel. It was so good at that time, and a lot of things would have been done. Talk about infrastructure, talk about investment, talk about everything. A lot of things would have been done. A lot of people have accused him of ceding Bakassi Peninsula because he wanted to become United Nations president and all of that. His own personal ambition. Now let's leave him aside. He is not the reason why we are going to listen more, because I want us to sit tight to the end, because there is more that you're going to hear from Rufai, and I'm going to be here with you to listen to what he has to say. We're going to talk deep, analyze it. Peter Obi, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar. It seems the rest of the presidential candidates of other parties have gone into oblivion. It's like nobody knows them. It's like they do not exist. Now, with the Electoral Act and some policies, CBN policy that has been put there, how does that affect this election that is right in front of us? Let us hear more.
President Muhammadu Buhari, I thank you. I thank you. And I did that deliberately. You see, this electoral law you've signed in, sir, is now making politicians, like they say in local parlance, run kaba everywhere. It is obvious. Also, the CBN policy, good one. Because all the loopholes are being blocked as we speak. And we knew it. The first attempt was to discredit the CBN boss just because they passed a law leading up to the election period. That is, no, will not favor politicians. So they tried to arm twist. The court has also ruled in the man's favor. And secondly, now, it is an attack on the INEC chairman. Anyway, we saw this coming. And kudos also to our very good friend, Mike Igini. Because he all constantly said here that the trust of these 2023 elections will be by the judiciary standing tall. And kudos to the judiciary for standing tall. Because more of them will still bring in these frivolous backroom dealings to stop the electoral process. But I think the next loophole INEC should look at now to be the ad hoc staff. Because now they are going to target the ad hoc staff. Because you see, we have a country where a lot of people are less busy. They are jobless. So politics for them is win at all costs. And sometimes, even if they are joining the politics to add value to Nigeria, it will have been better. But they join politics to steal from the government and crush the country and run the economy badly. So these are people that are the nefarious needle needling the prospect of Nigeria because of their own selfish interest.
Well, like I said at the beginning, I said a lot is going to happen this year, and this year will determine the next phase of Nigeria. It's very important that we take note of this. Now, Rufai went on to talk about how certain individuals persecuted CBN governor Emefiele. I kind of have, it's a debatable issue. Emefiele is not clean of crime, according to what we've heard, and audio leak, phone call leak, and many other atrocities that they said he committed. And with this, the criminals around are trying to drag him out, saying, "Mister, you are a criminal, you are a thief." But all of a sudden, you have decided to come up with certain policies that will affect criminals like you, like us. And that is why they want the FCC, they want DSS, they want all security agencies to attack and cripple him. That is one, debatable one anyway. So Emefiele has been ruled by the court to move around freely in Nigeria. Like, man, you will not be arrested. Nothing is going to happen to you. And he also said that he wanted the president to say, nothing is going to happen to me. Now, did Buhari intentionally cripple all of these, extras that politicians will always benefit from, like free money, to take money out of here and there, and to change naira notes so that money that has been stashed for this election will be useless? You can't take this amount of money. You can't do that. You can't do that. They said Peter Obi will win if there is no rigging. And they said Bola Ahmed Tinubu will rig the election to become president. This article, on the other hand, too, is ready to rig the election. We don't know what is what. But soon, in some couple of weeks, everything is gathering momentum. We'll begin to see the signs. What are your thoughts?
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.